Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down 2% there. On this week, Nasdaq down 3%, semiconductor down 4%, Dow 2, Russell 2000 2.5%, transport 1.7%, banks got hit, energy held up better, biotech down 3%, healthcare about 2%, home builders also got hit 2.6%, utilities is pretty much flat there today. Retail got hit, emerging market down 1%. It's a big bloody red day today. Bitcoin down close to 10%. Gold silver miners made a move today. It's green there on those guys. Dollar flat, oil up, treasury bond slightly up. VIX popped 16% there. Let's stick with S&P 500 ETF. Spider, 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday, and we opened up and we gapped down, and this is where we opened up here. So we bears were able to manage to open up another down gap. This is a bad news for the buyers. As you can see, there's a down gap. Bulls were not able to fill that down gap. Tankage came. Some crazy shenanigans. There's an up gap. There's another up gap. There's another up gap here. Oh, actually, yeah. Up gap here. Up gap here. And then move here. And then there's that down gap. So you can see how some of these up gaps that bulls are trying really hard to establish any kind of traction with these up gaps, and bears are quickly filling these gaps. And that's kind of what we talked about, you know, the nightmare that could potentially come, that bad bulls don't want to see another scenario of this happening. And it looks like it is happening. It looks like the nightmare is starting again for the bulls, and bears are continually making buyers' life miserable with that downturn. Yesterday, you know, it seemed like we had a good move, like we're holding up above the pivot. We held some of these gaps are still open. Bulls just kind of needed that follow through. Some of these short-term, mid-term moving averages are declining. We talked about yesterday that sentiment is still bearish, and because of that, bulls need to act fast. They need to find that traction. They need to make a way. Well, bull, this gap down is pretty much kind of, putting that bulls plans down the drain. I mean, bears didn't even let the bulls do anything with that gap down, and that was crucial. Not only that, the gap was filled. So bulls got nothing to work with here. Bulls don't have any gaps they're working with. We got the midterm still continues to decline. Trend is down, and yet another lower high here. Currently though, we are, if I kind of zoom out a little bit, as you can see, we got these lower highs here. And then bears are working to cultivate that another lower low. And that's what bears want to do. They want to continue with that cultivation of downtrend and continue make the lower highs and lower lows. And kind of what's going on right now, though, is what about the bulls, you might ask? Well, things are not looking so good in the short term and the midterm, right? We're dealing with the bearish trend. Sentiment is bearish. Bulls are really losing their confidence. They're not finding any footing here. I mean, they had a really nice run right here. But when they were not able to fill that down gap, my midterm and long-term moving averages were there to kind of support the bears. They got back up and then tanked again, and then they gapped up again. And guys, so you can see how bulls are making a lot of effort here to trying to find that footing. These tunas are, you know, as they're going against the string, going against the current, and they're just not able to find that footing, especially when you see strong resistance this vicinity at 460, and this time around not even able to get close to that level. Another gap down, another down day, and things are looking very, gloomy here for the buyers. So 436 is 436.60. It is the level. That's a prior support. And you can see we kind of held that level also. So that's a kind of a support level we're hanging around here. This is a level that bulls want to hold if they want to see any kind of a bounce, but things are not looking so good. And first things first, what the bulls want to do is fill this gap, but there's so much resistances that bulls need to go through. There's that down gap here. There's that mid-term moving average. There's a long-term moving. Not only that, you know the micro-term moving average that was supporting the buyers for like a day or so? Well, now that's not even supporting the buyers anymore. You can see as I zoom out here or zoom in here, even that micro-term moving average, you can see that little move on that second and third hour. My micro-term moving average is right there. And so all these short-term, micro-term, mid-term moving average supporting the bears, the down gap still open, not even able to retest that. You can see it's very much, you can see confidence is shot. Buyers are just not finding anything at this moment. And 243. So this is the level that bears want to break below, right? Break below that 436. The next level of support is 429. So bulls got like, this gap that needs to be filled. Even then, if the bulls get up and fill this gap, once bulls get up and fill this gap, you see that short-term moving average, it's going to be right there. It's going to be acting as pretty strong resistance. So right now, if you're hoping that how can the bulls turn things around, okay, how can the bulls go back to the primary term uptrend? Well, they need a miracle. As far as a trend, as far as the chart is concerned, the structure of this chart is concerned, things are looking very gloomy. And if nothing changes, expect some hectic month of February for the buyers for the remainder of this month, unless some kind of miracle here. So bulls, what bears want to do, continue below 436, and 429 is the next level of support. And let's check out that oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So wow, so I don't think, you can see we had a very nice, spread there on the oscillator, that advancement, just out of nowhere. Bears didn't even let the bulls go near the, the overbought level. I mean, this is first. I think, I don't know, for in a while where we see that very quickly bears bring it down. Usually you can see, as I zoom out, you see that bulls will usually push it all the way to the top of his band. This one quite didn't even get there. We only went at like 75% of it. That tells us that, confident, the spirit of the bulls is really low, right? Their faith is deteriorating, right? They're meek and lowly. And bears are showing no mercy and just bringing it down. And right there, and you can see we're not oversold. Bears can bring it down one more day. If there's any kind of gap down, any kind of continuation, bears have all the means and all the confidence, all the momentum to bring it down to 430, 429. I'm gonna come back for you. We're gonna reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Go trading tomorrow.